Welcome everyone to part 2 of our NBCMI two-step podcast. This is Interpreting in Healthcare, the new podcast offered by the Standards and Training Committee of the NCIHC. Welcome everybody. Today we have co-host Maria Schweder and the past president of NBCMI, Xiomara Armas. Let me give you a little bit of their bio before I hand off to Maria. So Maria, my good friend, is a registered nurse with a master's degree in mental health counseling. Maria was raised in Bolivia and came to the US for the first time when she was 20 years old. Maria is also president of and founder of Medical Communications Ambassadors. The mission of Medical Communication Ambassadors is to provide innovative and quality interpretation training services to a diverse population with regional, organizational, and individual needs. The mission of MCA's training program is to serve as a stepping stone to careers in medical interpreting. Maria is the author of MCA's Spanish-English Medical Interpreters course, and MCA's textbooks were accredited by the IMIA. Maria has extensive experience working as a healthcare provider. She's been a critical care nurse, emergency room trauma nurse specialist, diabetes educator, CPR, PLAS, and ACLS instructor, mental health counselor, and nursing instructor. And let's not leave out interpreter trainer. Maria is a certified healthcare interpreter, CHI, and has worked as a medical interpreter since the year 2000. Maria served on the board of directors of the Midwest Association of Translators and Interpreters, MATI, International Medical Interpreters Association, IMIA, the prior chair of the National Board of Certified Medical Interpreters, NBCMI, and National Council of Interpreters in Healthcare, NCIHC. She's a member of the American Translators Association, the ATA, the founder and president of the Northern Indiana Medical Interpreters Association, NIMIA, and currently serves with me on the Standards and Training Committee of the NCIHC. So thanks so much for stepping up to be today's co-host, Maria.
Thank you.
I want to introduce our guest, Xiomara Armas, who is a certified medical interpreter, CMI, at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and former chair of the Interpreting and Translating Shared Leadership Council. Former or current?
Current chair, yeah.
She is the past chair, let's see, my eyes skipped a line, of the National Board of Certification for Medical Interpreters, the NBCMI, and NBCMI consultant at present, member of the International Medical Interpreters Association, IMIA. With a degree in business and over 10 years in corporate finance, 18 years in healthcare, and a passion to elevating competence through certification for the medical interpreter profession, she brings a wide-ranging view, combined skills, and broad expertise to our profession. Xiomara's honors include the honorable mention in the CHOA 2010 Golden Apple Award for her contributions and extraordinary accomplishments in health education. And education is the key, right? Education,
yes,
and certification. Yes. So Maria, take it away.
Yeah. Well, look at all of the things that you looking back and must be proud of.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I know.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the things that obviously we're proud of you, so I'm sure you're proud too, and other things that you're so proud of that have happened in the past.
Well, many things, right? Becoming an interpreter after my past life as in finance was a challenge and definitely a game changer in my life. It was a passion inside of me to work somehow in healthcare since I was 15 years old, because in my country, when I was in high school, I worked as a medical access in a clinic that was close to my house. So the passion for healthcare started there. And But at the moment, your parents say you go into the university and do this and study that. Okay, everyone told me to go to finance and I did. So when we came to the United States, 25 years ago, with my husband, my kids, I decided not to continue to finance, in corporate finance, because it was too demanding for me. Too many hours working from dawn to dusk. It was awful. So I decided to raise my children, I needed a change in my career. So I became a medical interpreter. At that time, it was an extraordinary training offer for the Human Resources, Georgia Human Resources Department and Atlanta Workforce. They combine forces to create a specialized medical interpreter, an interpreter training, really, because they included legal, mental health, medical interpreters, everything in one training. And it was really, really good. And that was awesome for me because I thought that it was a combination. It was a really good area that I can work on with more control in my life for my kids. So I'm proud of becoming an interpreter because immediately I was hired by Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and everything started moving. I work at that time, my boss was Andrea Henry, that probably she's really awesome interpreter and researcher and everything. And then my second boss was Orlin Marquez, who was in the creation of the national board many years in the beginning ago. So he taught me about the interpreter, the certification programs and all that. And I became a certified medical interpreter. And then I have years pass and I have this amazing coworker, Linda Joyce, who was working with us. Linda, again, she was in the beginning with the national board. Yes, I love Linda. Everyone loves Linda Joyce, really. She's very admired. She's very well known in the industry. So she talked me into becoming a director of the national board, which it was totally, for me, it was, no, I can't. It requires a lot to be a director and I'm not prepared. And she said, yes, you are prepared. Look what you have done in the past. Look your careers. Look the combination of careers with finance. And now all the years that you have in healthcare is a perfect experience combination. Go ahead, apply. You have, okay, if you say so. So I did. I was hired as a volunteer of the director volunteer of the national board. And it was there when I realized the humongous responsibility that we have with our community, a certification body, all the needs, all the work that we need to do. And I'm proud of all the work that we accomplished in a few years. The team that we had were totally amazing at that time, including Gustavo Negrete, the actual president. I have a really good team of directors that were young and very passionate. So we create many things. We celebrated 10 years during my stay as vice chairs at that time. And that gave us the time to sit down and review the past, the 10 years past, what we have accomplished. But it really gave us time to reshape our planning for the future, what we really need to do in the future to elevate again, to get more interpreters, to get certification. We also create the program that the NBCMI program, which is a certification for all other languages. It's just a written part of a test, but it allows all of the languages to belong, to have the credential from the national board, which was very much needed for our part to offer to our community. Then we started also the scholarships for the national board, which I think is amazing to have started in 2018. We started with the scholarship, to the nationwide scholarship, to offer to all states, all 5 regions of the United States, to have the opportunity to grab one interpreter, to offer a scholarship to one interpreter in each region. And we are doing it every year. Well, the national board really having successful partnership also with training interpreter agencies to offer more scholarships, more bulk programs. So yes, I think that being part of the national board is very rewarding. It has been really nice. I've learned a lot working for the national board. I've grown as a professional. I think they gave me a better perspective as a professional, and also took me closer to our hard worker community. That was really the best part of being a chair in the national board, is to travel, to talk with people, to know, to hear from their frustrations, their hopes, their emotions, their dreams, and they expect so much from us. So I know that the responsibility continues, that we need to really work harder to bring them more to our community. But yes, it's been really nice years. We're really proud of that.
That's really awesome. That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were there from the beginning with Linda. Yeah, that's great. What a great opportunity. So talking about all this, there's so many challenges that we face, especially with certification. What do you see as your biggest challenge right now as your involvement with the NBCMI?
Yes, well, human problems, I think, is one of the greatest challenges. Unity. I think that if we have one national certification body instead of 2, it will take us to a new level. I think, like in physics, to create the force, to acceleration, to impulse, to acceleration, to velocity, I don't know, that forces to create one certification, national certification body, will combine all the experiences for all these leaders for so many times, for many years, that have worked so hard really for the profession, and create one organization will be much gratification for the community, gratifying for the community, because we can do more if we are united. I think we need to start several levels of connections. The level of individuals, sit down in one table with our leaders in this industry, and evaluate our culture, our differences, what it takes for us to become more united, to combine our experiences and create more. I'm sure that will lead us to another level that create a better relationship among those leaders in both organizations and among the stakeholders, all the organizations that language access. With the creation of one national organization, I'm sure everyone will work more comfortable. I think we need to think about open mind professionals, that I think is about time that we give the opportunity to all these new generations in our leaderships in the industry to sit down and brought all these new ideas that we can incorporate to the future of the profession. And that will lead to really the unification of the certification. So building a new, stronger institution and let it evolve will benefit all the efforts that we are doing separate and combining. So I don't know, it's gonna be really good to have one force to promote the professions, the certification. We need so much right now. We need to do so much, but I think that if we combine forces, we can go places that we never think. Legislation, for example, we need so much support of the legislation in all states. Unify the requirements for certified medical interpreters in all states will be a great place to be. Because we need to create more opportunities for certified medical interpreters. We need more interpreters nationwide.
Yeah.
We need to reach out to those states or places where we are not strong yet, small communities. They really don't know the stakes to be a certified medical interpreter. So I know there are many, many considerations involved in the unity, but we need to start somewhere, right? We need to sit down, and I'm sure there are many. I just remember the song Imagine, right? You may think I'm a dreamer, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know there are many people in the industry that would like to see this unity, and we love to start a conversation. We love to sit down in a table, in a round table, and start talking. Just start talking. Just start. What do we need to start this?
Yeah.
So connection.
That's
right?
a big challenge.
Let's start
That's a big
connecting.
challenge, yeah. So how do you see that in your mind? This is a huge challenge when a lot of us are behind this too. We really want to see this, but how do you see this happening? What would be your vision of how we start doing this?
I think a call for roundtables. Let's start conversations. I'm sure that there are many in both institutions and in the industry as a whole that would like to talk about it. And I think with all these people, really experienced, really great professionals, I think we just need to start sitting down and let's create a conversation. Let us start. And from there, I'm sure that many, many new ideas will become to continue evolving. What the next step to create kind of a layout of how we see we can move towards the unity. So I'm open, I'm ready.
Okay. You and me, let's go for it.
Let's go for it. And the
it.
others that I know that are out there waiting for this goal.
Well, it sounds like we're leading into what would you like to see happen? And that's one of those things that you would like to see happen. Anything else, like maybe training standards, changing and evolving, or things like that? What would you like to see happen?
Yes, starting with legislation, right? I would like to see the all state unified legislation to require certified more professionals, interpreters to serve our community in healthcare. I would like to see the profession growing as healthcare is evolving and growing. I would like for us to accelerate the pace, and we are very slow growers. We need more. So of course we need more the leadership, and we need more training. I would like college training at the level of bachelor's for interpretation that will enhance or raise the bar for the professions to go beyond. And also I will have more programs for or requirements in training. We were trying to think about what else we need to incorporate in our trainings. So so there are many. I don't want to take so much talking about my dreams, but yes, I think we can do more. I'm sure we can do more to train better professionals. I am amazed how, at least I know the other states doing, but in Georgia, we have high school programs for interpreters. For those bilingual students, the Fulton County here, and I know there are other county as well, I think Cobb County as well is doing it, have created this program for bilingual high school students that have some challenges getting into college to become interpreters and connecting them with the certification. So they are doing the training and they would like to see more connection with certification board to enhance the training to those young interpreters, because, high school graduate, 17 years old, really young to start in the profession. I would like more support for those students, to new professionals, to really give them more opportunity. I'm thinking in the hospital, in children's, to create a practicum program for interpreters. Those high school new interpreters graduating from high school can come to the hospital and shadow our interpreters doing the job as the first step for them to realize how we do the work we do, how it really requires to be an interpreter. I think we need to support these new professionals to another level so that they can be successful getting into certification. They can go successful being a professional medical interpreter. So I would like to see many things in training. As you say, we need to support our new professionals more. So creating more programs for them to become better professionals, I think we can make it true. We can make it real for them. So yes, I'm still have many ideas in my head, and I'm still working closely to the national board, and I offer continue offering my support for whatever programs they want. I can continue volunteer, and not just for the national board. I can open to be hired for anyone who wants my volunteers time to work more for the community. I really love my interpreters community. We saw through COVID how hard it was for all of us to be part of those dark moments that we lived with COVID, and the stories that they tell about all this hard work that they needed to do. So just make me, love them more. Being an interpreter, I know what it is, but there are areas that we still need more support to our interpreters, to our medical interpreters. So yes, I'm a passionate interpreter and a passionate for the profession.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, we do need to enhance our training.
Yes.
We're slow. And as a healthcare provider, I feel that 40 hours is, how I feel.
Yes, very limited. Very limited. Yes. I agree.
Scary, almost scary.
Exactly. And that creates frustration, in many new professionals that arrive to the hospital to do the work, and they are not strong enough yet to really do, and they think that they fail to themselves to get into this profession. It's hard in sometimes, many times, and I don't want to see that. It's sad, for them to think I made a mistake, I lost all these training hours, and this is not for me. I don't know. I feel that we need to do more.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about what you said in terms of a high school track. I've been trying to sell a couple of the school districts here in the state of Washington that already have strong language programs and bilingual baccalaureates and everything else that you can think of, to include as part of a distributive education or alternative track to the baccalaureate being only college bound. How about training that begins their junior year in high school? And over the course of 2 years, we cover everything except the practicum and the shadowing. And they have to wait until they're 18 when they graduate. But those are usually within a short time. Half the class is 18 by the time they graduate, and the other half will gradually get there that same year, to offer supervised shadowing of working interpreters, and a partnership where experienced certified interpreters will shadow those beginning interpreters, and then a way to connect them to employment. So here's my idea, because I was struck by the fact that both you and in the previous podcast with Gustavo Negrete, you both use the word unity, which appeals to me a lot, because in unity there is strength. And we need strength, and we need bodies as well as strength to move the legislature. The new moves of the strengthening of Section 1557 and the Affordable Care Act have given extra emphasis to the details of how to provide that language access in a meaningful way. And I am very much for having that conversation, bringing the two certifying bodies to the table. But I think if we start with the first project being, let's unify into one body, we're still going to get some pushback.
Yeah.
What if we brought both certifying bodies, NBCMI and CCHI, to the table to discuss what does the template for a high school training program look like? What does the template for continuing ongoing education look like? And come to an agreement. I think just the fact that we sit down and have the conversations and would get to know each other, then we would feel that we had allies on both sides. And after completing that, after trying to get that legislated, after trying to get that approved by different school districts, which is a big lift, right? Creating that template and then getting people to say, yes, we're going to implement it. But I think if we are successful in doing that, then we can easily, inevitably move towards a discussion of how to unify and strengthen the credentialing that is currently available for interpreters. What do you think of that?
That sounds great. Good,
Exactly. Creating projects together that we can work
that we
together.
can work together.
Yes, it's gonna, make that combination of trust and teamwork that is needed for unity. If we are interested in a common goal, we can realize that we can move forward to do many other things together. So yes, that's it. Whatever it takes to start, whatever it is, combine our efforts, whatever is to bring all of us together, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
One step at a
It's
time. But
starting here.
Yeah.
It's starting
Exactly.
right here, right now. We all, when we get off this call, are going to go back and start planting those seeds. Hey, let's have a stakeholder meeting. Talk about templating out what a viable certificate would be that could be implemented junior, senior year in high school, or an associate degree program, right? We can't go straight to the bachelor's.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Start with
does that look
associate.
like?
Yeah, start with associate.
And present the detailed steps to interested parties and try to grow it from there. Then I think the next step can be taken to talk about some sort of unification.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I
So-
agree totally.
I
And
I
the-
agree.
The challenge of training, looking back in nursing in the past, nurses originally were trained in hospitals and got little diplomas, right? They moved it out of the hospitals into the colleges. So then it became an associate degree of 2 years. And probably 10 years ago, maybe, then it evolved into a bachelor's. So those were the steps. And I think we can go through those same steps as well as move them into the college first, because that's
Yeah.
1 or 2 years, and then eventually evolve. Yeah.
I'm
As
going
a
to ask one more question. Another member of the Standards and Training Committee is somebody with a foot in both worlds in many ways, as a provider and a language access champion, as someone who was there at the beginning of the IMIA and someone who was there at the beginning of the NCIHC's creation and who has presented at many conferences, is Dr. Eric Hart.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love Dr. Hart.
He's fantastic.
Oh
But
my
he
gosh.
wants interpreters to move past certification and getting licensed,
Mhm,
just like other allied healthcare
Mhm,
workers do.
mhm. Exactly.
What do you feel about that possibility?
Oh, I think
support
that's
it
perfect.
because
Yeah,
I think it makes it really easy for employers who don't know much about language access
right,
Mhm.
to have clarity about who is a qualified candidate.
right.
That's
I'm with you. Yeah, like a licensed medical assistant. It's like, yeah,
yes.
It does.
You have to take
No.
the test, but you
Yep.
also have to get licensed.
yes, yes.
That's
That's a
correct.
great idea, Eliana. Good for you.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Well,
see?
we've had lots of good ideas.
Yeah.
My
Now
gosh.
we
Yes.
have to do something with them. And I am pledging my support and energy to try to get this moving somehow.
Yes, yes.
Oh yes.
I will turn
Count
your
on me.
camera back on so we can say goodbye. We've got 2 minutes left on our time. There he is. Hooray.
Yeah.
Hooray, there's there's Victoria.
Yay.
Victoria. She's a
For the
cutie. Look at
future,
her.
right? So that she doesn't have to face the same challenges my parents and my grandparents
Exactly.
faced, so that we have greater opportunity to succeed. She's going to grow up in a bilingual and have that perfect pronunciation that heritage language speakers have in both languages and knowledge of
Cute.
cultures. So yes.
That's awesome. Hey, cutie.
So thank you both for being here today and for being willing to do whatever it takes to enhance and support this profession, because it really matters. Not having a healthcare interpreter when you need one is one of the scariest places that you can be. And I'm tired of interpreters being treated as an afterthought, right? How many
Yes.
hospitals have I worked in where interpreter services was in one of the sub-basement floors, where it was next to the morgue, or it was next to the medical examiner, or that weird room where they make the prosthetic devices. When I visited Carla Fogren in Boston and went to her hospital and walked in and saw the beautiful big information desk at the front, and interpreter services was right there at the entrance, I turned to Carla and said, Carla, I think I'm going to cry.
Wow.
That interpreter services is right there, the first
There.
thing that you see.
Wow.
So that's the shift I want to help make it. All places where healthcare is delivered with an interpreter that is trained, qualified, certified, and hopefully licensed with a degree
Yes.
someday.
Oh, that's very dreamers, but we are not alone.
Right? You got to share the dream, sort of, to make that dream go from being amorphous and imaginary to solid and living and working here in 3 dimensions.
Synergy. Yes, we have this synergy. So let's keep working on it. Thank you.
Building that
Thank
energy.
you.
Thank you for being
both.
with us here
Eliana.
today. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Maria.
joining us on Interpreting for Healthcare, the NCIHC's newest podcast. but I really appreciate you coming and joining us here today. Thank you, Maria, for being here with me
Thank
today.
you.
And all the
Thank you.
best. And this is not the last that we'll be seeing of each other.
No, oh, no. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the
Very
work
much.
you do.